Hey all, it's Mooch. Welcome to Minding Your Mechs, episode 16, a very, very overdue battle between the Broadside Mods Brizo, the Immortal Modz Grip, and the Purge Slam Piece. It is a battle of the side-firing brass mechs. It's normal setup. Got a Cosmonaut RDA, which I am monitoring the voltage drop across. I have 3.5 volts, which is about your battery voltage when under heavy load. 60 amp power supply. I am pulling 30 amps from this through the mod every single time using this electronic load, and the current passes through these solid aluminum slugs in place of a battery. What that does is, by using this consistent 30 amp current draw, no matter what the resistance of the mech is or the wiring or anything, we have consistent repeatable results that we can use to compare the test results month to month, even year to year. And the red and black wire run into this meter. I have the resolution turned way down. We don't need to see millions of a volt, but we can monitor the voltage that we'll see. Right now it's monitoring the power supply voltage, and you'll see when I press the button it'll go to 0 volts because no current flows. When the current flows through, we'll be able to see the voltage drop through the mech. Over here we'll be able to compare each of these three directly. When I post the results, I'll subtract the effects of the atomizer and the slug, which are minor, and you'll just have the voltage drops through the mechs themselves. To prevent any arcing damage from affecting my results, particularly if any of the arcing damage is difference between them, what I do is I press the button on the mech to close the contact, and then I fire a 2-second pulse of current. You'll be able to see it up here. 2-second pulse of current. Let the current stop, and then I open the contact again. So no arcing damage results. Later on, we'll test for arcing damage separately, but I don't want that affecting anything that's here. I want to be able to do test after test without worrying about arcing and cleaning and anything like that. All three of these mods are cleaned the same way. Hot soapy water with a toothbrush, rinse with hot water, then about a half freaking hour each with never dull cotton, especially deep into all the threads, contact surfaces, followed by a hot soapy water toothbrush scrub, followed by a distilled water rinse, and then a quick dip in isopropyl alcohol to displace the water, and then a quick dry with a hairdryer, and then into doubled Ziploc bags. And that was yesterday. All of these are the same cleanliness, and there's no chance for any oxidation to build up. And let's get started. We'll start with the Brizo, while the poltergeist start rolling everything around. Use a solid aluminum slug. Actually, we can stay with the 2700 one for all of them. Try to get consistent tightening for all of them. See if we go to 0 volts here. No, so we have to adjust. Thought I had this adjusted ahead of time. Okay. 0.02 millivolts, that's the voltage drop. That's just background electronic noise. And what we'll do now is I'm going to try to do consistent button presses, but also what I want to test for is how inconsistent the voltage drop is, depending on how you might grip it or how you might use it or something. But right now I'll just do some decent presses with thumb. And so we close the contacts now, no voltage drop, and then I'll fire a 2-second pulse, about 173 millivolts, 0.173. I'll let go just to test again, close it, fire. 0.167, 0.170, 169, and we'll do one more. 0.170, I'm going to do 0.170. Now, for comparison, the drop for a copper Admiral was about 0.025 volts, and this one's 0.170, so significantly higher. Now let me just try 3 really hard presses, and let's start to see how variable this might be depending on how you press. And 0.140, that is bytes. 0.147. 0.150. Okay. And if we want to try to set it up, it's kind of hard to actually simulate using this. Now we'll just do a press for something might be kind of normal. And we're up to 0.226, 0.215. I'm starting to slip here. I want to thumb fire this. 0.154, 0.170, 0.163. I'm going to stay with my 0.170, but you can see there's going to be some considerable variation depending how hard you are pressing the button. And let's move on to the next. We'll do the Immortal Modz Grip. Okay, the other one, the Brizo was about 0.17 we settled on. I'm going to do the same thing. Lay it down, use the thumb. There's our 0. 34. Remember, the Brizo was about 0.17 or 170 millivolts. 33, actually 33.9. 34. That's really consistent. I'm just going to put down 0.034 here, or 34 millivolts. And let's see if we just do kind of a fisting it. No jokes, please. 35. Just over 34. Very consistent. I like to see that. And now we're going to move on to the Purge Slam Piece. Now, just in case you were wondering, this has a larger cell, less copper down here for 2700s, 21700s, and then an 18650 insert also. And sometimes you get people who are wondering, you know, hey, how much of a difference is there between the inserts and stuff? And let's take a quick look. For this one, we need to zero out. It's drifted about 4 millionths of an ohm since the last time, so we'll just zero that out. Okay, now if we've got this one, we're at about 0.021 milliohms, so that's about 20 millionths of an ohm. And then for this one, we've got about 0.012 milliohms, 12 millionths of an ohm. Now you might go, holy cow, one's almost twice the resistance of the other. But this one here, with the 21 milliohm resistance, that's less than 1,000th of a volt drop through this one. And this one will be even less. It'll be half that. It'll be less than 1/2 of a 1,000th volt drop. So the difference between these is almost nothing. So I'm not going to be testing the two different cups. There's just so much metal for these. There's just not going to be any kind of practical difference. Even though one's almost double the resistance of the other, you know, doubling of almost no voltage drop at all just doesn't make much of a difference. Okay, and I'll set it up to, if I can get a decent thumb press. And we're going to be looking at the voltage here. 0.08 or 80 millivolts. 79. 77. And I'm releasing and pressing each time. 79 or 80. Let's try one more. I'm going to call that 80.08. And let's get it up into a squeezing position. A little bit better here, 75, 73, 73. So let's use 73 for this, since that's a little more representative of how it might be held, which is 0.073. Okay, so the numbers that we have crudely down here, the Brizo was a 0.17, the grip was 0.034, and then the slam piece, yes, that's actually English, I can read it, is 0.073. And this will be posted in the table. I'll add it to the video when I do the final voltage drop table, once I subtract the effect of this plus the slug that's inside. Now, what we want to do is we want to take a look at what kind of arcing damage is there for these. And for that, we're going to use a 0.1 ohm load Samsung 30T Cosmonaut, and we're just going to fire each one 200 times, which you will not be subjected to. We will not have to watch that. And then we'll take a look at the arcing damage. I'm sure there'll be a tiny bit. We'll take a look at the degree of arcing damage for each one of them. So let's go to the Brizo. And we'll start the 200 firings. Let's see, so I want to be able to switch between thumbs. 1, 2, 3, 96, 97, 198, 199, 200. Yeehaw. Ha. Okay, and we want to be able to take a look. The mechanism, oops, sorry. Presses the contacts out against the side, so we've got to remove this central part. I can not throw everything all over the place. So there's your center contact coming up, passes to that hole, and that passes to the screw and to these contacts. And get out the magnifier, and we'll take a quick look. There is almost nothing. There's a single contact point at the bottom. It must be a high spot for both sides. I'll try to take some close-up pictures and put them in the video stills, but along this bottom edge here, that's the only point that's touching, because there's a tiny high spot here. There's a ridge along the bottom of this contact, so it's touching here and touching here. It's not touching across the entire face, but there's still only very minor arcing damage with a 0.1 ohm load. Down here at the bottom is the dot that matches up with here, but very small amounts of arcing damage, so that's great to see. Alright, let's get the grip. 200. 1, 2, 3, 6, 97, 198, 199, 200. For this one, we've got this contact, this arm that pushes against that contact, and let's take a look at what arcing damage might be. I can see pressure spots and just the tiniest. It's hard to say that's really arcing damage. That can just be the pressure point. It's a very tiny point of contact here. This is it's got very low resistance, a very low voltage drop, but it's just one tiny little point of contact between this contact here and that contact there. I really can't see any arcing damage. And then this point, okay, I can see a little bit here, but it's easily cleaned because it's just a single point here and a single point here. And so I'll try to take some macro photographs of these two here, but otherwise I don't see a lot of difference. It's something that you'd be able to take care of, I think, easily with each day's maintenance. And the last check with a fresh 30T will be the Purge Slam Piece. One, 2, 3, 4, 6, 197, 198, 199, 200. And let's take a look here. Again, we've got the contact, and I hit it again, sorry. Contact there, press it up against here. Let's take a quick look. There's a line. Not sure There's a line across here. I'll post a close-up of that. And it's just a razor line, like the face of this contact here. Doesn't press up against it. It wasn't like cut back at an angle, so when it moved forward, it'd go flat against here. It's really just this edge here that contacts. And let's take a look at this. Okay, yeah, I see a little bit of contact erosion at the edge. It's just a knife edge of contact between the two, which may contribute to having about twice the voltage drop of the grip in the testing here. But I want to do a quick retest of the Brizo because I got a very high number compared to the others, and I want to make sure that's accurate. Close the contacts, fire the pulse. Okay, down to 0.14. Oh, the thumbs are tired from all that other firing. 0.15. This one I screwed together tighter. 0.15. 0.15. Okay, that's pretty consistent. Let's try it like this. 0.147. 0.134. I'm pressing the button very hard now. 0.13. Let's try a little more reasonable press. 0.18. It's really variable, depending how hard you press. I'm doing it about as hard as I think I would do it if I was just casually firing the mech. 0.17. 0.15. 0.165. All right, I'm going to bring it down to 0.16. I screwed this in tighter, so I'm going to bring it from its 0.17 down to 0.16. And so we've got the Brizo at 0.16, the grip at 0.034, and the slam piece at 0.073, but I'll put up a table here and you can compare the results. That's it for today's video. Thank you for watching.